Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ann-Toniea, also known as Toni. I recently came across a USB that had my bungee jump video that I did well over 6 years ago, but it meant something to me. It had a significance, and I'm glad I came across it because it reminded me of a time that I was fearless. And I knew there would come a time where I'd have anxiety and life would just take a toll and I'd sort of lose my mojo. And it was a nice reminder. And I thought before sharing that video, I would add context behind it and talk about why I did it. Because at the time, when I shared the idea with many people, a lot of people thought it was a crazy idea. And a lot of people were perplexed as to why on earth I would want to do a bungee jump. So I will talk about my philosophy behind why I felt I needed to do it and why I wanted to do it. It wasn't a need, but it was a want, and I thought I'd talk a bit more on that stuff. So I basically had it on my bucket list since I was a young teenager, probably from the time I was 13, 14. I've got loads of other stuff on there. I've ticked off a lot of things since then, but this was one of the key ones and one of the cheapest ones that I could actually do in the UK. Everything else involved traveling. So yeah, this was one of the easiest, quickest ones I could tick off, and I ended up doing it here. It was something that I planned to do with a friend, but our time schedules, I was at uni, she was at uni, different uni outside of London, our timings couldn't meet up. So I thought, well, at the time I was starting to feel like a sense of urgency because I knew life was going to take a toll at some point. That fearless nature that you naturally have when you're younger, I knew that would dwindle eventually, and I wanted to do it before I lost my nerve and my mojo. At that time I was like, right, I'm gonna book this. I actually booked it for my husband, at the time boyfriend, for his birthday, because I discussed it with him loads of times and he said that he was up for doing something like that. And he was really enthusiastic until I got it for his birthday, but we'll talk about that. I'll do another video of his take on the whole experience. I'd made plans to do it. One of the key reasons was, obviously, it's a nice visual way of overcoming fear. If you have a fear of heights, it will definitely take you out of your comfort zone. I wanted to just dare myself to see what I was made of, to see if I was as courageous and fearless as I thought I was, and to see if I really had it in me, see if I really had the guts, because we all talk a big talk, but when it comes down to it, committing to something, things can be different. So I went for it, booked it, put the money down, invested in it, so it was going to happen. The main push behind it was I was thinking of my future self, and I wanted it to be a physical reminder of me being brave, me being courageous, me doing something your average person wouldn't want to do, and yet I still do it because I don't need validation of others. I've got my own goals, my own reasons as to why I do the things that I do, whether people understand it or not, and that's okay. And you push through and you go for it regardless of other people's thoughts and opinions, because a lot of the times it's projections of their own fears and insecurities, and you can't ride off of other people's views to govern your own course. So I was even more determined to do it at that point, because I thought, you know what, this will be good and healthy for me mentally, emotionally, in every aspect, and it would be fun. In my mind, that's what I thought it would be. So that is the foundation behind why. Another reason why I did it was because when I watch movies, action movies, and you see people falling, I've always wondered what does that feel like. Times that you have dreams where you're falling, you wonder, well, personally I wondered if the actual sensation of falling was like how you'd imagine it would be. I was curious, basically, curiosity. I've got quite a vivid imagination, so I thought I would check and see how accurate my imagination and mind is to reality. Thirdly, I would say that you get to a point in life where you need to form your own opinions based on your own experiences and not off of the fears and insecurities of other people. So I wanted to have my own experience, and not have my thoughts and opinions based on what I imagine and what other people say. I wanted to see how strong my willpower was. I wanted to check my own level of courage. And yeah, it was also a prerequisite for a skydive. So in my mind, I'm thinking we're going up by about 300 feet. We decided, well, me and my boyfriend at the time, now my husband, we decided that we'd go for the highest. We were like, it's all or nothing. So if we're going to do it, we might as well go for UK's highest, tallest one, which was in Windsor. But even so, we both said that we wanted to do a skydive one day. We thought, first, let's see what it feels like to fall from a shorter distance, and then that will gear us up and prepare us for the skydive, which will be from a much higher distance. So we thought, if we can overcome this, then we know that we're ready for the skydive. So this was only just meant to be a small taster to get us mentally ready for the next experience that was on our bucket list to do. Another thing is that life is limited, our days are numbered, and I wanted to experience as much as I can. I didn't want to live my life based on watching other people live through a screen, or just watching others doing, and then I sit and do nothing and just enjoy vicariously through others. I wanted to have experiences of my own that I could talk about and share and cherish for myself. And then it was something that excited me and inspired me to challenge myself. And it's also quite empowering because you go against everything within you that screams no. And once you're up there, there's a mental battle and a mental wrestle in your mind where it's something that you want to do. I imagined I would run, dive off, arms open wide, with the biggest smile, feeling free, with no inhibitions. Yeah, I knew it was something that I'd draw courage from at a later stage in life. And so I went for it. You will see soon how it really went down. Was I as brave as I imagined? You'll see. One thing I will say, you feel the wind pulling on the rope that's swinging down below, and it pulls on your feet while you're on that platform. I wasn't afraid until I got to the top, and then when I felt the heaviness of the rope and it's pulling me to the edge, and you're being instructed not to hold the sides, and you start to realize that you're in a very vulnerable position. Everything in you screams against what you're doing, but you have to talk to yourself with logic that you are safe and you have a bungee attached. It's a different type of battle that you go through when you're up there. Internally, your mind protests against everything that you're doing. With each inch that your feet take towards the edge, your mind is screaming, your body, your instincts, you're reaching for the sides, but you've been told not to hold on to the sides, so you don't hold on, but you're still reaching anyway. You feel your knees feel extra weak, your feet feel extra heavy. You can watch as many examples go before you as possible. It doesn't take away from the fear. The fear didn't really come until I was at the top. And the one thing that actually helped me to do it was the fact that my husband went before me. He was more afraid than me, and he still managed to do it. So at that point, when I wanted to back down, just for to save face, basically, I had to go through with it. And also, I was already invested money into it, and I was right there. It would have been such a shame to turn back round at that point when I was so close to doing something that I had planned several years in advance to do at some point. I just had to go for it. It's strange because the feelings you feel once your feet don't touch the edge and you know your body is at an angle. This is the platform, and you've just dived off. Your body's here now. Your heart sinks, your mind's screaming, and there's no turning back, and you just have to accept in that moment what you've just done, the decision you've just made, and you just have to go through feeling what you're feeling while you're falling, and you'll see how it went down. Yeah, it was terrifying. I won't lie, it was terrifying. Once you're up there, you can be as fearless as you want to be, but once you're up there, it creeps in, and blood, it was terrifying. But once you've had the first bounce, the rest of the bouncing was actually really fun. I enjoyed that bit, but I think my mind was just blown after the fact that I leapt off. Yeah, I was still reeling and I was just on that still, even after it was done. Yeah, knees were shaking. I won't even lie, knees were shaking. It was amazing. I haven't ruled out skydiving, so that's a good sign for sure. Since then, I've done many other challenging things, so it hasn't put me off pushing myself beyond my limits, or where I perceive my limits to be. It's good to put yourself to the test sometimes. I did it. I'm going to link the video. If you have done a bungee, let me know. If you are considering doing a bungee jump, let me know below. Feel free to like, comment and subscribe. I will look forward to hearing from you guys soon. Alright, have a good one. Bye.